Thank you so much. One more time, everybody. Let's give a special round of applause to our special guest musician, Phil Weir. Thank you for kicking off our celebration tonight in such a wonderful way. Welcome, everybody, to Waterspirit's Fall Equinox celebration. I'm Blair Nelson, Executive Director of Waterspirit, and I am joined by an amazing community of people here tonight, including our Public Policy and Justice Organizer, Rachel Dawn Davis, and our Program Manager, Ann Price, and our very special guest reader, lovely volunteer, Pat Heaney, and of course, our delightful musician, Phil Weir, who is so graciously gifting us with his talents this evening. This is such a lovely community of people, and I'm so grateful for the chance to celebrate the equinox with you all. But before we get started, a couple of housekeeping announcements. If you have not already done so, please take out your cell phones and take a moment to silence them. And everybody should also take note that tonight's proceedings are being live streamed. So if there's anything happening near the altar or near the pulpit that will be visible on the stream, hi to everybody watching on our YouTube channel. For those of you who are here for the first time, I'd like to share a little bit more about us with you. Waterspirit is a spiritual ecology nonprofit sponsored by the Sisters of St. Joseph of Peace. We were founded in 1998 by Sister Suzanne Golas, and since that time, we have informed, inspired, and empowered people of all beliefs to deepen their consciousness of the sacredness of water and the interdependence of all Earth systems. We promote the personal and systemic transformations needed for a flourishing Earth with clean, safe water for everyone. And if you enjoyed tonight's proceedings, please consider making a donation in the donation box out in the vestibule or online at www.waterspirit.org, where you can also find out more about all of our upcoming events and advocacy efforts. And let me tell you, between now and the end of the September, we have a ton going on. Before we begin, I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge whose land we're on. Waterspirit is headquartered in the homeland of the Navasink Lenni Lenape on the peninsula named Navarumsunk. We respectfully acknowledge the Lenape peoples past, present, and future here in Lenapehoking and throughout the diaspora. We offer our care and gratitude for Lenapehoking as well as our commitment to establish just and right relations with these lands, waters, and people. And now, let us begin our ceremony. Each year, in the autumn and the spring, on the equinox, there is a perfect balance between day and night. Today, we light 2 candles to represent this balance. We honor this time of balance. We honor this time and embrace the sunny days and cool nights being almost equal. We welcome this seasonal shift and the changes it brings. When we regularly tune into these changes in our seasons, autumn needs no clock or calendar. We feel it, see it, smell it, taste it, and know autumn. To quote Hal Borland, autumn is the quiet completion of spring and summer. Spring was all eagerness and beginnings. Summer was growth and flowering. Autumn is the achievements summarized. The harvested grain, the ripened apple, the grape in the wine press. Autumn is the bright leaf in the woodland, the opened husk on the bittersweet berry, the froth of asters at the roadside. Autumn brings fall colors and textures, The reds, oranges, yellows, golds, and rust tones of autumn delight the senses in landscapes and rich sunsets, inspiring poets and visual artists. Take the time in autumn to radiate your own beauty and creativity to the whole world.
The fall equinox is the perfect time to find gratitude and put your manifesting powers to work. Manifesting is based on the idea that you can think your hopes and goals into reality. We focus our mindset, and our mindset shapes our thoughts. Our thoughts shapes our behaviors. If you believe you can, you can. Setting intentions for what you seek to manifest this season and affirming your intentions out loud is a powerful way to set your goals into motion. We invite you to take a moment and think about what you are grateful for and what your intentions are for this new season. So take a moment now. Now, we invite you to participate in a charming sharing ritual Blair saw on display at the Parliament of World Religions titled Leaves of Hope, Bark of Legacy, Sacred Seeds, where we will all engage with Mother Tree. Each person here will gather a leaf, a piece of bark, and an acorn, and a pen. The leaf represents leaves of hope. You will write your prayer or wish on a leaf. The bark is the bark of legacy. Honor your ancestors by writing the name of an ancestor you wish to honor. Take a moment to reflect on their memory and significance. And your acorn is the sacred seed. What is the seed you are gardening? Write on your acorn that which you are committed to healing, flourishing, sustaining. After you have completed writing on your papers, please come forward and tape them onto Mother Tree. Your wish becomes a part of our collective hope. Your ancestors' legacy is honored as the bark is entwined with all of the ancestors of the group. Your acorn is your commitment to the future of Earth. While the papers are being passed out, I'd like to introduce Phil Weir. Phil is our musician for the evening who will share, again, his gifts and brighten our celebration with music. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil, and thank you, everyone, for taking part in this. Now we can enjoy our beautiful mama tree through the rest of the celebration. It came out great. It's beautiful. And all the feeling into it is what really makes it beautiful. I love so much about autumn. I enjoy the colors of the autumn leaves and the sounds of crunching through the leaves, walking through them in the forest, and bird watching and apple picking and all those things. It's an amazing time to go outdoors. Have you ever paddled a canoe down one of New Jersey's pineland rivers at this time of year? If you have, perhaps you've seen wild cranberries growing on the banks. You may have bitten into one of them, and they're very tart, and your mouth would pucker. They're beautiful red round berries, and they grow along the river because cranberries need an abundance of water in order to grow. And they are a native North American fruit, and New Jersey's indigenous people found cranberries growing in the wild and used them to season their foods and as medicine. And they called the cranberries pakim. Pakim was their name. The Lenni Lenape people introduced the berries to the first European colonizers, who also used them as food and sold them to the British. It was those people who likened the shape of the berry's delicate little pink blossom to the head of a crane. It looked like a little bird's head, and it became the craneberry. And that's how the name became cranberry, from pakim to cranberry. And cranberries in the form of cranberry juice, cranberry sauce, or craisins. I love those craisins. They're some of the delicious things we enjoy at our table to celebrate autumn. We also have a variety of squash, like pumpkins and acorn and butternut squash at this time of year, and grapes in the form of just grapes to eat, fruit, or jam, or juice, or my favorite, wine. Autumn is the season for all of these tasty crops. Can you want to call out some other food that's being harvested right now? Anybody have a garden? Anyone harvesting anything? Or picking anything right now? Kale. It's always kale time, isn't it? Even through the winter, it's kale time. Oh, I love those little tomatoes. Anybody else? Squash. Beans. Anybody picking corn? Yeah. Corn, bean, squash, yep. Our three sisters. Anything else? Oh, I love the raspberries. All right, well, thank you very much.
Traditionally, during the fall equinox, people enjoyed the bounty that was grown by the sun of summer. We shared the abundance of food, like the ones that we all just named, between families, friends, and villages. And we reconnected after a long and arduous harvest season. And as you noted before, we can see some recently harvested foods here on the altar, and we'd like to take a moment to give thanks for the people harvesting crops everywhere. Pope Francis offered this prayer intention: may small farmers receive a just reward for their precious labor. Autumn is a season of abundance and plenty. Even as birds and woodland creatures are enjoying the abundance of fall, they are also storing away portions of their autumn harvest and preparing for leaner times. Enjoy the blessings of this season, but remember to plan for the future. We freeze, dry, preserve, can, and store our foods to prepare for a lean winter. But first, we thank the abundance. And now I invite you to pray with me the prayer for abundance, which is in your programs. We have so much before us, and for this we are thankful. We have so many blessings, and for this we are thankful. There are others not so fortunate, and by this we are humbled. We ask those who watch over us that those in need are someday as blessed as we are today. Thank you.
So, the autumnal equinox, the balance of night and day, a balance of light and dark. It may be hard to strike balance in your life, a balance between your personal life and your professional life, daily obligations, relationships, and everything else we experience as humans. But that is why it can be so beneficial to tune in to the rhythm of nature. Take a moment now and reflect. Is my life in balance? If not, in what areas of my life could I cultivate balance? What do I need to feel that balance? So let's take a moment to practice balance together. For those of you here or watching at home, I invite you to find your center of balance, either sitting or standing if you prefer. What you're going to do, I want you to find that center of balance by gently swaying back and forth. You'll feel that middle ground where your balance is in center. And as you gently sway, think of a field of grain. Think of a tree swaying in the wind, and feel that balance. Feel your center and bring to mind balance in your life. Now I'm going to invite you to take a step further. For those of you that are here, you're invited to join us. If you've noticed, there's a path along the floor of a string, just a very simple little string. And I'm going to invite you to follow this path. So you are going to silently and slowly follow the path along the floor. You may also remain seated if you choose not to participate, that's okay. While you follow that path, see if you can balance along the line. And after you've taken a few steps trying to balance, think of your personal journey toward a life of balance. As babies, we were carried. As toddlers, our bodies worked hard to learn how to balance. In our youth, balance probably came more naturally. Perhaps a strict balance of body isn't a part of your life. That's okay. I invite you to follow this path calmly, quietly, peacefully. Just walk. Allow your mind to focus on gratitude. What are you grateful for today? For the people in your life? For the ability to balance your priorities? Your obligations and your pleasures can both fit if you take breaks and find balance.
Thank you all so much. I'd like to now read a prayer for balance, adapted from Patty Wigington. A balance of night and day, a balance of light and dark. Tonight I seek balance in my life, as it is found in the universe. A candle for darkness and pain, and things I can eliminate from my life. A candle for the light and for joy, and all the abundance I wish to bring forth. At this time of the equinox, there is harmony and balance in the universe, and so there shall be in my life. Now I would like to invite Phil to perform another special piece for us.
Thank you, Phil. As summer comes to an end, some of us are not yet ready to let go of the beach. We are so grateful to be here in New Jersey, so close to the sea. Think of a typical beach day. The sun warms our skin. We hear the sound of the gulls calling, children laughing, and the waves crashing against the shore. We can taste the salty water as we cool ourselves in the ocean. The variety of scents, like the smell of sunscreen or the scent of the ocean breeze, fill our nose and hold fast in our memories. And of course, we love just sitting in the sand and watching the waves. Looking at the ocean activates opioid receptors in our brains, and it releases the dopamine and its rush of reward. We seek out the water. Here's a poem by Richard Green, and it is in your program if you want to follow along. The Beach in Autumn. I like the beach best in autumn, late October, say, on a local summer day, when the vacationers have gone and most of the shops are closed, still displaying their summer clothes. The sand untrampled, the sun at midday nowhere near overhead, so you'd know it was off season even if you'd lost track of time. It's being as close to alone as one can in a place so often encumbered with crowds, as if one had traveled back to a time before people flocked to the shore, when coming from inland one would find only the open sea and sand and gulls. Thank you.
I admit it. I'm ready for summer to be over. I like autumn. This is my season. I'm a happy girl. No matter how much we long to extend summer, autumn has arrived. Like 2 a.m. tonight. We welcome autumn. We remember that soon we will enjoy scarlet leaves, wool sweaters, and mugs filled with hot cider. We get to read this beautiful poem by Mary Oliver. It's also in your programs if you'd like to follow along with me. Don't you imagine the leaves dream now? How comfortable it will be to touch the earth instead of nothingness of the air and the endless freshets of wind. And don't you think the trees, especially those with mossy hollows, are beginning to look for the birds that will come, 6, a dozen, to sleep inside their bodies? And don't you hear the goldenrod whisper goodbye? The everlasting being crowned with the first tuffets of snow. The pond stiffens, and the white field over which the fox runs so quickly brings out its long blue shadows. The wind wags its many tails, and in the evening the piled firewood shifts a little, longing to be on its way. So we are grateful for one more performance by Phil. Thank you very much. Phil, this has been wonderful. Thank you again for all these performances. It really is hard to hold still. It really is. Are you okay with us clapping along? Because it might hurt. Okay. He's okay with it.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone. Tonight we have celebrated the harvest within and without. We have called balance into our lives. We have given thanks for the abundance of Mother Earth and for the warmth of each other's hearts. I'll leave you with one final quote from Hal Borland. For the fall of the year is more than 3 months bounded by an equinox and a solstice. It is a summing up without the finality of year's end. So thank you all for celebrating the fall equinox with Waterspirit. I wish you a bountiful season full of grace and harmony. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be loved, and may you be at peace. Happy equinox.